Uncharted came out in February 2022 and stars the likes of Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. This is the prequel to the very successful Sony video game franchise, also by the same name, in which follows the story of a treasure hunter, Nathan Drake, who hunts for lost treasure with his main pal Sully and some of his other close allies like Chloe and Elena. This movie follows the story of how Drake and Sully meet and how they get into the treasure hunting business and meet the likes of Chloe for the very first time. Furthermore, this follows Drake's first treasure hunt and also teaches us more about Drake and his brother Sam. What I liked about this story then is it quite intrigued me as I watched it, because I had low expectations for this movie, as I thought it was going to be another failed video game turned into a movie. However, I was pleasantly surprised, as this absolutely wowed me and was like, oh shit, I'm wrong about this movie, it's actually fucking good. As it felt like a National Treasure sequel. As we know, there isn't a National Treasure 3, but this is the closest fucking thing you're ever going to get to a National Treasure 3, as it mixed everything of other treasure hunting movies like Goonies, because it had the comedy of Goonies and the pirate ship at the end, and it just felt like a little bit of Goonies mixed in with National Treasure, as all the locations were in different places, different clues leading to where the actual treasure is. It was like the Uncharted game, but in real life. Furthermore, I also want to say how brilliant this movie was, as I know we've touched on it a little bit, but I just want to say the whole movie was fantastic. It was a thrill ride. It was a great, like, sort of family movie type of thing, but the favourite part for me was the ending, the main event, the juiciness, what you have come to see, and that was a boss battle like similar into the Uncharted games, in which was between Drake and Braddock's men, basically, as he had to fend off and try to keep the pirate ships that he had collected with all the treasure in, or, well, there might not have been pirate ships, but these ships basically were filled with treasure. He had to basically protect those from Braddock's men, which were coming to take these for themselves, and he had to fight them off and take control of one of the helicopters, in which was Sully's job, and it was just so entertaining to watch. The main event of it was brilliant. It was so entertaining, and the funniest part about all this is that they walked away with barely anything in terms of what they could have had, as most of it ended up at the bottom of the sea, but they end up with a few little coins and rocks and things like that of gold, in which obviously it wasn't what they came for, but they got a slither of what they came for, as most of it ended up at the bottom of the ocean and taken by another government, in which came shortly after that they left. I also liked how good some of the actors and actresses were within this movie, as we saw the likes of Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake, we saw Mark Wahlberg playing Sully, incredibly by the way, Sophia Taylor-Ali playing Chloe, and Antonio Banderas playing Santiago Moncada. And I thought out of all of those, I thought the standouts was actually the main two, Sully and Nathan Drake, Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, as they had a great chemistry. It was similar to, obviously you'll see Shaun of the Dead's, the last review I've just done. You'll see in there I mentioned Nick Frost and Simon Pegg's working relationship. I think these two working, I think this was the first time they've ever worked together, I could be wrong about that, but they were brilliant together. They had very good chemistry, they were bouncing off each other brilliantly. It was an adventure, it was brilliant, and it replicated something which I didn't think it would have, in which it was able to replicate what the original relationship between Sully and Drake was actually in the video games, in which I did not think it would do. I also liked the actress Sophie Taylor-Ali that played Chloe, which was awesome. She was awesome, as she made the real life character of Chloe basically come to life, as I didn't really think you would find somebody who could fit that role of Chloe, who is a backstabber, untrustable. She can be good to you sometimes, but bad to you others. And she presented that brilliantly, as you never knew if you could trust her within the movie. You were sort of always on your seat, sort of going, "Ooh, is she gonna backstab Tom Holland's character or Sully's character here?" As she's got a reputation for that in the games. I believe she comes into it in the second game, doesn't she? So, and she's got a bit of a reputation for that. And I loved that how they represented that in this movie and how she was able to portray that. The final thing that I really liked about this was the little cameo appearance by Mr. Nolan North, who used to play Nathan Drake in the video games, and if there is any future ones, he will be the guy stepping up for it. But it was great, a little heads up to say thank you for being Nathan Drake, and it was great how they invited him in to be like, yo, you're just going to be a cameo appearance, a guy on a beach, just going, yeah, I know how that feels, like hanging off of whatever. However, I don't think this movie entirely smelled of roses, as there was a hint of shit. As Antonio Banderas, in my opinion, was misused as Moncada, as I thought he was the perfect villain. He felt like the most Uncharted villain possible, as he killed his own father to go and do the project he was going to do, which was go and hunt for this treasure, make his name, and he already had his name and fame and all this money, but he used his resources to go and hunt for this treasure, hunt for these artifacts and things like that, which I thought was epic. But he was killed by Braddock, in which I did not like this, as this did not seem like the right thing to do, as he'd hired her to help out. I get it, it's a little plot twist that I didn't really expect, but I didn't want it to happen, as she weren't presented throughout the whole movie. If she was presented throughout the whole movie and she had built a character of herself throughout this movie or previous movies, totally get it. Totally get it. Know what I mean? I would totally get that. However, I did not like this, how they used him, because he was killed off just for Braddock to go, yeah, I'm now the main villain, in which she had no previous character development before this point, whereas he did. He killed his own father to go and do this, in which he's pretty ruthless, if you ask me, and was the perfect villain and felt like the most Uncharted-like villain. To summarise then, I really enjoyed this movie and hope they can go on and make a sequel of some kind, as it was super enjoyable, and there's not many treasure hunting franchises out there that are still making movies, as I think this is something that really appeals to me, the likes of Goonies, National Treasures, and now this Uncharted movie. Hence why I rate this movie a 7.5 out of 10, as it was super enjoyable. And if you agree with anything I've said down in this video, let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with anything I've said, or you have your own little opinions you want to get them in the comments. Let me give them a read. Also, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be alerted to all the new content this channel creates, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.